Hello students, let me welcome all of you on behalf of the Unique Academy. Now the UPSC Prelims 2026 has just taken place and I'm sure you must have already started preparing for your mains examination. We thought it essential to come up with a video as far as planning and strategy for coming 75 days is concerned. So let us straightway get started with the kind of planning and strategy that you are supposed to follow. Whenever we think of planning something, the first basic thing that needs to be identified is the available time slot. And for sake of convenience, I have come up with the calculation about the same. So as far as June is concerned, we have 30 days, from July from 30 days again, and from August 15 days. Okay, so thus 75 days, but we are sure that it would be very difficult for us to utilize all 75 days. So you can put up a range, saying 70 to 75 days. Okay, in which you are supposed to take care of the three important components, heads. So obviously the first major head is your GS. You must think of utilizing 50% of the time available. Then the second heading, head is the optional, 40%. Okay. And then the third one, at least 10% of your time needs to be allotted for taking care of the essay. Now in terms of days, again, this is a rough estimate of 35 days for GS, maybe in the range of 30 to 32 days as far as your optional is concerned, and then at least 7 to 8 days as far as your essay paper is concerned. Okay, so this is how you can take note of the available time slot. This is the first one. Now the subsequent second point is the strategy. And as far as the strategy is concerned, I have broken down different aspects, different dimensions of the strategy. So let us take note of the first one. Now, before you actually start your mains preparation, there are certain fundamental primary steps which need to be taken up by you. Now, what is that? So the first is analysis of both the syllabus. But how are you supposed to do the same thing? I'm sure you must have seen the syllabus multiple times, but syllabus is to be analyzed through the PYQs so that you can find out the areas untouched, least asked from 2013 to 2025. So untouched areas, then areas frequently asked by the UPSC, whether it is GS, whether it is optional, so on and so forth. Then areas from the current and contemporary point of view. I am sure you must have read newspapers, current material for your preliminary examination, and even before that as well. So on the basis of that, you are in a better position to identify, make a list of possible important areas from current and contemporary point of view. Okay, and most importantly, why is it once again essential at this moment to look into the PYQs is to make sense of the ways, the manner in which, the mode in which different kinds of questions, alag kinds of questions been asked by the UPSC. So this is the first basic step once again to be taken up by you, and let us not forget doing that. The second aspect of the strategy, which is very explicit one and obvious one, that is finalizing the study material. So your own notes, maybe short notes and micro notes, maybe class notes, another source, and standard books. Okay, so you have to finalize the study material. And I think it is not that difficult. The third main point now is the preparation, the actual preparation. आपका जो असल पढ़ाई है. Again, I have jotted down and try my best to identify all essential, important, fundamental stages and phases of the process of preparation. So the first one is processing. So whatever you are going to read from the study material, as part of the study material, make it a point to process that material as carefully as possible. But how are we supposed to do that? The input that you got from the analysis of the PYQs. That is, you analyze the syllabus, got back to the syllabus, but through the PYQs. So that input is very, very important, and that would tell you a lot as far as reading any study material is concerned. Okay, number one. Number two, the processing of each and every material has to be transformed into something called as the micronotes. If you haven't made micronotes, prepared micronotes, you should make it a point to do the same thing even during these 75 days. So micronotes, short notes. The third one, something called as the specialized efforts. Now, what does it mean? Qualitative efforts. But again, what does it mean? Now, essential data regarding the topic, then relevant examples, then case studies, then the expert opinions, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, specialized efforts contain all these facets. Well, you can take note of data, statistics pertaining the subject, topic, relevant examples, pertinent examples, apt case studies from across the spectrum, then the expert opinion, so on and so forth. Now, the revision. If you are systematic about the processing the material, making precise short notes, micro notes, then this subsequent phase would be much easier for you, because you have already come up with something which is very, very important from each and every topic, from each and every study material. Then you would be better placed to revise that, efficiently and effectively. So revision is important, and you can plan for revision in line with this exercise, which is very, very important. That is the answer writing. उसका पहला format है answer writing का, you can say daily. There can be another, that is in terms of test series, that is a weekly format of writing answers. Then this is one generic rule, that is you can think of utilizing 15 to 20 days immediately before the beginning of the mains examination, which is scheduled in the second part of the August. So last 15 days, जैसे हम बोलेंगे, last 15 days या 20 days to be dedicated exclusively in order to revise all 4 GS papers, whatever preparation you have done of essay or as part of essay, and the optional material. Okay. Then the critically important part of the strategy and preparation has to be the answer writing. Okay, because we should never forget about the UPSC Civil Services Mains examination. After all, that is a descriptive and written test. So you have to write answers. We have just jotted down various aspects of the same thing. So these are the two modes, that is the topical and sectional answer writing. You should follow that as far as possible. Then the comprehensive, you must exercise this. Okay, so 250 marks and the entire syllabus. Say for example, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, optional paper 1, optional paper 2, and essay, writing essay on 2 topics. So this is how you should also follow in adequate amount the comprehensive format, so that you can cross check whether you are able to manage the timetable, complete the paper in the span of 180 minutes, that is a 3 hours, so on and so forth. And then are you able to recollect the points on spot, and then are you able to organize your answer as per your expectation, so on and so forth. Then there is another dimension of approaching writing answer. So one is in terms of frequency. So daily या alternate day. So this is one mode या one method of writing answers. So जो भी आप पढ़ोगे टॉपिक आपका खत्म होगा, and on daily basis maybe every alternate day you can make it a point to write a couple of answers on the same topic. So this is one, and this is the weekly. So we can simply say this can be seen as a test series format. So every week, initially, you can make it a point to write at least one test, one comprehensive test in a week, and maybe say in July, the second half of the July and the first part of the August, you can target writing at least 2 comprehensive tests in a week. So that is how you can deal with the most important aspect of this strategy, that is the writing answers. While writing answers, this is something which is to be consolidated by you, and I did refer to this right in the beginning as part of the specialized qualitative effort. So it contains data, statistics, examples, experiments and models, then case studies undoubtedly, okay, and scholars, experts and public authorities. Okay, so while writing answer, can I make use of all these facets, and wherever it is relevant, I should make it a point to bring in these dimensions. This is something which is equally important. Okay, as far as the coming 75 days are concerned, you should aim at constant evaluation and improvement. Now, in terms of the quality of revision, are you able to revise whatever you are reading and whatever micronotes you are preparing? So revision is must, because otherwise you may not be in a position to recollect things, recollect dimensions of a topic. Now, content and all possible aspects of the content. So whenever we think of writing answer, so this is something which is very, very important one that needs to be taken care of. और जब हम कंटेंट का सोचते हैं तो all possible aspects of that. Now content, उसमें क्या क्या हो सकता है? उसमें facts हो सकता है, sheer information, okay, then उसमें data हो सकता है, फिर से आ रहा है ये, उसमें analysis हो सकता है, so on and so forth. Then importantly उसका current, contemporary हो सकता है, etc. etc. Okay. Then comes another important dimension of writing answer, that is the language and articulation. Language and articulation is very important, yeah, acquires critical importance to begin with in essay paper, then the ethics as far as the GS is concerned, and even the other, that is the rest of the GS papers, and importantly in your optional papers. So language and articulation, the grammatical facets of the language, to be able to write as effectively as possible in a very legible manner, but you have to maintain sharpness and ensure precision as far as your writing is concerned. So language and articulation, to be able to use right words, the terminology of the given subject, so on and so forth. Okay, presentation. Now there are a number of techniques. So to begin with, as far as presentation is concerned, you can think of formats. So point format, para format, yeah, combination of both point and para format. So this is one aspect of the presentation. What format are you supposed to follow? So I just refer to 3 formats. But then as part of presentation, there is another dimension, that is use of employing various techniques such as tabular formats, using maps, drawing figures, pie charts, flow charts, so on and so forth. So you can make use of these multiple techniques of presenting one's own argument as effectively as possible, but you have to be very careful when it comes to using techniques. You have to be apt and you have to be very, very pertinent. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to do, and ultimately you have to aim at ensuring the quality enhancement. Now you can think of quality enhancement when it comes to reading something, when it comes to processing something, when it comes to revising something, and last but not the least, when it comes to writing answer. So right from reading, that you are supposed to take note of the quality aspect of the reading, processing, that is micro notes, then revising, and then importantly writing answers. So this is how you are supposed to, as part of the last aspect of the strategy, constant evaluation and improvement. This is what you are supposed to take note of. So students, this is how we can think of the strategy and planning for the coming 75 days. I wish you all the best. Thank you.